Welcome to the Tinfoil Rabbit Hole, the show that goes deeper than just the page one search results. I am your host, the White Rabbit. This show comes to you from deep down within our tinfoil rabbit hole. It's from there where we'll discuss the strange, the odd, the mysterious, and the unexplained. We'll explore every subject with its accepted definition and understanding, and dive deep into the interweb in search of alternative possibilities. So I invite you to put on your tinfoil hat and stay with me a while inside my tinfoil rabbit hole. Episode 2, The Sickness, Electromagnetic Hypersensitivity. Are you one of the many people who believe that their health has been compromised by the modern age's consequences of using radio waves? Do you find your day-to-day activities and life difficult due to the effects of electromagnetic radiation and wireless technologies? Do you find that you are now allergic to society? Are you a radio wave refugee? Wireless and other radio transmissions, such as 5G technology, are theorized by some to be in the top 15 of issues that threaten the Earth's biodiversity. There are many people who believe that Wi-Fi, microwave ovens, cell phones, computers, and other sources of wireless technologies and RF transmissions that they are exposed to on a constant basis and emanate from satellites and ground-based antennas are causing them physical and mental harm. However, many researchers and scientists believe that the potential effects from these technologies are largely unknown. Furthermore, some researchers and scientists point to evidence and studies that they claim clearly show electromagnetic hypersensitivity to not exist at all. Many people are unaware of this issue, but scientists, researchers, and those seemingly affected have strong observations and evidence, and it appears that the verdict on this issue is still not in. The White Rabbit likes unresolved subjects because it makes you think. So let's put our tinfoil hats on and beam deep into the tinfoil rabbit hole. According to Wikipedia, electromagnetic hypersensitivity, or EHS, is a claimed sensitivity to electromagnetic fields to which negative symptoms are attributed. EHS has no scientific basis and is not a recognized medical diagnosis. However, there are those who feel that they are indeed sensitive to electromagnetic fields. They claim to experience a variety of non-specific symptoms when they are exposed to electromagnetic and RF signals. Some are so convinced that their symptoms emanate from these sources that they seek to reduce their exposure and use alternative medicine. Others go to the extreme and change where they are living to a location that has been tested and measured for very low EMF radiation. In some cases, these areas enforce low EMF and RF signals by banning everyday items like cell phones, Wi-Fi, and televisions. Even modifying basic appliances and tools is necessary to conform. However, Many government agencies across the world have enforced false advertising claims against companies selling devices that shield against EM radiation. Additionally, medical research has largely found no convincing scientific evidence for symptoms being caused by electromagnetic fields. However, it has taken decades for some scientists, researchers, and doctors to fully understand and acknowledge the presence of an illness that does not show noticeable outward effects. The White Rabbit would have you research fibromyalgia as an example of an illness that took decades to grasp. People claim their symptoms include headaches, fatigue, stress, sleep disturbances, skin prickling, burning sensations, rashes, pain and ache in muscles, and numerous other health problems. In severe cases, such symptoms can cause extreme psychological distress. In 2012, a New Mexico judge dismissed a lawsuit in which the plaintiff claimed to have been harmed by his neighbor's electrical equipment. Arthur Furstenberg brought the lawsuit, charging that his health had been seriously impaired by electromagnetic fields generated by cordless telephones, dimmer switches, chargers, Wi-Fi, and other computer equipment. The judge made his decision based on the fact that there is no scientific link to these symptoms and exposure to electromagnetic fields. It should be noted that Furstenberg founded the Cellular Phone Task Force back in 1996, and he has been crusading against the use of wireless networks. The group's website attributes more than 75 types of diseases, conditions, and symptoms to electromagnetic hypersensitivity. In Sweden, some municipalities provide disability grants to people who claim to have EHS in order to have abatement work done on their homes, even though the Public Health Authority does not recognize EHS as an actual medical condition. In November of 2015, a depressed teenage girl in England committed suicide. Her suicide was attributed to EHS by her parents and taken up by tabloids and EHS advocates everywhere. Looking deeper down into my tinfoil rabbit hole, the White Rabbit asks, what is an EMF refugee? The internet tells us that it is one of many thousands of people around the world who are seeking places to live that are free of man-made microwave radiation and electrical pollution. We find that these are people that have given up their careers, homes, schools, communities, and families to find a safe place to exist in the modern world that is now filled with EMF pollution. Accountants, medical doctors, attorneys, school teachers, computer programmers, and CEOs are seeking wilderness areas, farms, far-off communities, caves, remote beaches, secluded valleys, basement apartments, and radio-free white zones where they can live without pain. These are places, they claim, where they can sleep and wake without the common EHS symptoms. The White Rabbit asks, are these individuals canaries in the global coal mine of wireless technology and electrical pollution? Will we begin to recognize the message that they are conveying? Are we on the brink of what could be the health crisis of the 21st century. Is there no telling who would be affected next? It could be a close friend, or a family member, or maybe even you. Is modern and mainstream medicine treating electromagnetic sensitivity in a way that incorrectly labels this as a psychiatric condition? There will always be psychiatrists or even physicists that will say EHS is a psychosomatic or nocebo effect reaction. What is a nocebo effect, you ask the White Rabbit? A nocebo effect is when a patient in a drug trial says their symptoms are worsened by the drug, but the drug is bunk or vague and has no medicinal properties. However, we find many things in the tinfoil rabbit hole, and there are biologists and medical doctors who have studied this issue, and they claim to have learned that there are measurable physical and genetic biomarkers that show EHS is real and a clear and present danger for society. So as we continue to dig deeper still into the tinfoil rabbit hole, we find the story of Dr. Carlos Sosa, a physician and surgeon presently living in Medellin, Colombia in South America. Dr. Sosa relays his story. Quote, I was forced to leave my house because of the symptoms caused to me and my family by the microwaves of a wireless internet mast or antenna. The structure had been in our building for nearly 3 years, and the company that owned it had been slowly raising the transmission frequency. Dr. Sosa said he started feeling a horrible sense of unwellness. He claimed he would experience headaches, dizziness, insomnia, nausea, irritability, amnesia, and forgetfulness and lack of attention or concentration capacity. He claims he couldn't bear being close to his house or any other microwave antenna, be it cell phone or Wi-Fi. He claimed the city was flooded by over 4,000 such antennas, and that didn't leave him a single unirradiated spot to live in. He goes on to say that he could sense the electromagnetic fields being given off by these antennas. He said it was like a burning candle in the back of his head. He couldn't find physical or mental peace anywhere in the city. He had to resign his position where he worked at the hospital because of the various microwave antennas, and being inside the emergency service room gave off too much electromagnetic pollution. He found Dr. William Ray, who runs the Environmental Health Clinic in Dallas. Dr. Ray made the diagnosis of atoxic encephalopathy, immune dysregulation, and dysautonomy. All of these diagnoses are a direct consequence of microwave irradiation, he claims. So how do we continue to live our modern lives when the number of ordinary radio stations in the United States alone is 14,000, and cell towers and Wi-Fi towers number in the hundreds of thousands, and cell phones and wireless computers and cordless telephones and two-way radios number in the hundreds of millions? Since 1978, when the EPA last surveyed the radio frequency environment in the United States, the average urban dweller's exposure to radio waves has increased at least 1,000-fold. Indeed, there are few places left on Earth where one can escape this radiation. The White Rabbit knows two places you can go. Deep down into his tinfoil rabbit hole, or the National Radio Quiet Zone. Greenbank, West Virginia is not a formal EHS sanctuary, but a small community that is located within the U.S. National Radio Quiet Zone. This quiet zone is 13,000 square miles in which radio transmissions are heavily restricted by law to facilitate scientific research and the gathering of military intelligence. The most severe restrictions imposed on the general public are only in place within the 20-mile radius of the Greenbank Observatory. It is actively policed in the area for devices emitting noticeably high amounts of electromagnetic radiation, such as microwave ovens, Wi-Fi routers, and faulty electrical equipment, and they would request citizens to discontinue their usage. Cell phone use in the core of the zone is highly restricted. In the community of Greenbank, though, the rules are even stronger, so much that some residents who are in direct sight of the radio telescope receivers can't use Wi-Fi devices and even their microwave ovens. Doing so can get you a $50 fine from the FCC. As of today, electromagnetic sensitivity is widely dismissed by medical professionals, but those that claim they suffer from the sickness continue to make the public aware and wait for more data to come in from ongoing research. The White Rabbit thinks that too much of anything is bad for you, and his rabbit hole is lined with tinfoil for just such an emergency. Sadly, our time in the tinfoil rabbit hole has come to an end. The White Rabbit hopes you enjoyed your time here and invites you to return and visit with him again in the tinfoil rabbit hole.
Where the hell is Tesla?